Hi, it's UHD Carlson here, and I just picked up another great new release from Vinegar Syndrome. These guys have become one of my favorite boutique home video distributors, and the video we're looking at today is their 4K release of Sidekicks, of course starring Chuck Norris, Jonathan Brandis, Mako, and Joe Piscopo. I'm going to unbox this release, share my opinions, and let you know if I recommend this one or not. Nice cover art there with a close-up of our central characters and the logo of the film. There is our spine text. Back cover with a description of the movie, as well as some legalese, screenshots, bonus features, and so forth. This did not come with a slip cover. Just throwing that out there now if you're a slip cover collector. Inside the case we have our 4K disc as well as a Blu-ray disc of the film that contains the bulk of the bonus features. There is reversible artwork on here, so I'll flip that around now. And here's the reverse art. I do like that yin and yang design on there. That's very cool. And then back cover pretty much the same, just a brown color instead. I'm going to read the description of the film as follows from the package. Barry isn't your normal high school student. He's obsessed with action movies, specifically ones starring the great Chuck Norris. In order to escape the difficulties of his everyday life, such as the loss of his mother and the bullies he has to face at school, Barry finds himself daydreaming of being Chuck Norris's sidekick and beating up the bad guys in order to save the day. With the help of his favorite teacher and her uncle, Barry begins training in martial arts in order to gain confidence and ground himself in reality. However, reality hits hard when Barry enters a martial arts tournament and is forced to face the bullies that have been tormenting him. With a little help from a hero of his, Barry must overcome his fears if he wants to win the tournament, as well as the heart of his longtime crush. A true 90s nostalgia movie, Sidekicks stands out from other family-friendly movies of the time, thanks in part to the many recreations of iconic action scenes found in Chuck Norris's filmography. Directed by Aaron Norris, brother and frequent collaborator of Chuck, Sidekicks features a who's who of 90s greats, including Jonathan Brandis, Beau Bridges, Dana McKellar, Julia Nixon, Joe Piscopo, iconic character actor Mako, and the legend himself, Chuck Norris, in a role unlike any other that he has played. Vinegar Syndrome is proud to present this video store era classic on 4K Ultra High Def and Blu-ray, newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. Well, I was certainly aware of the film Sidekicks. I had not seen it prior to picking up this release from Vinegar Syndrome. Kind of odd to hear about Chuck Norris appearing in a PG-rated, somewhat family-centric film, given his nature for being in all those over-the-top, violent 80s action movies, but this is certainly an interesting change of pace. And this was about a year or two before he got a big career revival with the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger. And it's interesting to see where the story goes. I would probably best describe this movie as a mashup between The Karate Kid and Last Action Hero, although obviously predating the latter film. The cast is great, including young Jonathan Brandis, who is, of course, your typical bullied teen who daydreams of being Chuck Norris's sidekick, that being what keeps him going, much to the dismay of those closest to him. You get a who's who of great actors in the cast, and even though there are a lot of tropes and cliches here that are pretty familiar, the execution of it is pretty solid overall. I mean, Mako's character in this movie I don't think is ever going to be a replacement for Mr. Miyagi, but he certainly does the best he can with what he gets. And you get all these other turns in the movie from a lot of familiar faces, including Richard Mull, who shows up as a gym teacher, Joe Piscopo playing a violent, angry karate sensei, quite the far cry from what we're used to seeing the guy doing. And even if he's essentially playing the dime store version of John Kreese, he certainly has the time of his life with the role. You get Beau Bridges as our main character's father, and again, I think everyone does the best they can with what they do here. The movie is a little scattershot, and there's a few too many characters and subplots, and not everything really gets the fleshing out and development that it deserves, but it's still a lot of fun despite that. Seeing Chuck Norris play a fictional version of himself, that kind of speaks for itself and gives you an idea of what you can expect here. As with most Vinegar Syndrome releases, I'm happy to announce that Sidekicks actually looks very good in its 4K Ultra High Def debut. You get the expected boosts here you'd get, including more detail, bolder colors, deeper, darker black levels, and so forth. It's not a movie that'll ever be home theater demo material, but I'm happy to say this is a very good, very faithful looking disc. It doesn't have any unwanted enhancements, noise reduction, grain removal, anything like that. This is what a movie like this should look like Vinegar Syndrome hits it out of the park again, and other studios should stand up and take notice. As far as bonus features go, there are quite a few of them on here, including a lot of interviews with cast and crew, and several other little, vintage pieces, as well as some newer stuff as well. I don't know if any of the stuff in here is brand new per se, but if you are a fan of the movie, you are going to find plenty to watch here and keep yourself busy with for a while. If you are a fan of this movie, or maybe you're just a fan of Chuck Norris and you want to see him trying something a little different, Sidekicks might be worth your time. Are you a fan of Sidekicks? Is this one of your favorite 90s movies? Where would you place this in Chuck Norris's filmography? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content, because I'm always posting new videos. And be sure to give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.